these guys around us that are consistently calling the cops and calling the mayor's office, it's this neighborhood that has a problem with unhoused relatives. Not in their backyard. They don't care where they go as long as it's not in their backyard. They don't care as long as they go die not in their backyard. That's what we've learned from a pandemic that's hit the whole fucking world. We're just gonna let people die?
But they also need to go around and tell these people, everybody thinks we're mean people, like we're gonna kidnap their kids or beat them up or take their stuff or rob them, whatever. We're not that people. We're like them, but we don't have a structured house.
That's what this is really about. People just don't like unhoused people. And they really don't like it when they actually stand up for themselves, when they advocate for themselves, when they organize themselves. And that's what this is about. This is about people having a problem with our relatives trying to say the sweeps are wrong. What we are doing to our unhoused relatives is wrong. The city needs to be doing something differently about this. We all know this. We've all been to sweeps. It's over 80 now. There have been over 80 sweeps just this year alone. And Hancock has made it known that this is going to be his policy for the remainder of his term. And so I don't know what there is to do other than to try to give as much voice to our unhoused relatives when violence is happening to them as possible. And they asked us for this. They asked us to come and raise awareness about the fact that this fucking fence is still up.
On Tuesday, August 31st, the city moved forward with a sweep. The city set up the fence, and originally it was taking over a significantly larger portion of our block. Right now it's still taking the majority of our street and also blocking off our handicap accessible entrance. And typically they only leave them up for about 72 hours, but in this case it's been up all week. And we don't have any word from the city as to when the fence is going to come down. And it's clearly bothering our relatives. It's bothering the people in the community. We've heard several times from folks in the camp who say that this doesn't feel like they're keeping anybody out. It feels like they're being caged in. The day before, we'd actually had a meeting with the mayor and with folks from the Department of Housing Stability, several members of City Council, and a whole bunch of people from the American Indian community in Denver. The mayor was unwilling to negotiate on stopping the sweep. We tried to meet him halfway. We tried to say, hey, we're willing to come to the table to step up to the plate to address your concerns so that we can have a mutually agreeable resolution here. And he just refused to negotiate. It's his typical response anytime there is a sweep. He says that there's a public health order and that he needs to enforce, that the city needs to enforce. And his main talking point was that the camp is unclean and unsafe. I've been out here almost every day. Other members of our council have been out here almost every day. This is by far the cleanest camp that I've seen in the city. And so it's kind of unfortunate that the mayor decided, he was going to say that it's unsafe and unclean without even being here, without even visiting, and seeing it firsthand and being willing to sit down with our relatives and hear their stories and even break bread with them or anything like that. In fact, we asked him if he'd be willing to come down and see the camp firsthand and meet some of the folks, and he told us he couldn't do that. And we asked him why, and he said, well, I'm on vacation right now, actually.
Cop disrespects you like they do us and pushing on us and yelling at us and stuff. I'm a person from domestic violence, and I'm starting to learn all this stuff back. And it's kind of hard when I got somebody like them that I'm supposed to be able to run to for safety, and they're treating me disrespectfully. How can I run to somebody when they're doing that to me? I don't trust them. How do I know they're not going to do that to me? Push me down, tackle me, And the mayor really needs to understand, and as a black person, he needs to understand too, his people went through the same basic things we did, you know? They wasn't allowed to go to certain places. They wasn't allowed to do this or do that or anything else. And that's how Native Americans are, or just plain homeless people out on the street. We're not allowed to go in bathrooms. We're not allowed to go in stores. When we walk into a store and we have money in our pocket, because we do have money, you know, at times, and we're going in there to find some, oh, automatically you got a backpack, oh, you're homeless, oh, you know, what are you trying to steal? And that's not right.
It seems like a really short-sighted and frankly violent solution to a very, very complex problem. And I think, if anything, city government should be in the business of helping people, and not trying to appease, you know, certain constituents or certain demographics or certain voting blocks that, you know, may be wealthier or more powerful or have louder voices. I think beyond any of that, the city should be about helping people. And so with the money that they spend on these sweeps and that they spend on these, you know, keeping these fences up and, you know, paying overtime for cops to come and babysit, you know, they could be creating humane solutions. And, you know, it's unfortunate that so far, you know, the city is more willing to spend money on violently displacing Native people from stolen Native land than, you know, providing humane solutions to get at the root causes of what's causing homelessness and what's causing, you know, particularly for Native people, what's causing this to happen? What's the history? What are the policies that put us in the position we're in now? And how do we proactively step up to rectify it? I haven't seen that commitment from the city at all.